There are some things in racing that never change. And some that do. We listen to you, and with your feedback, we created a steering wheel that is up to our SimuCube standards. Our several months of R&D and the rigorous testing of our drivers gives you the confidence needed to win in all genres of racing. We want you to feel connected to the road in the most authentic way possible, and to be in control at all times. That is why we developed the SimuCube button. With this button, you can adjust the essential steering parameters on the fly, while focusing on winning. Racing never truly changes. It evolves, and so does SimuCube. We are proud to introduce the SimuCube Daco GT21 steering wheel, available worldwide.
Hello everybody and welcome to round 2 of the hashtag NoFilterDXB eSports tournament here with pole position on Race Room. And yes, indeed, this is our second outing this season. We've had one already last week, which was won by Ibrahim Al-Mubarak, who is not here with us this weekend. So we will have a new winner. We won't have back-to-back winners. We also don't have the man that finished in third last week either, Alex Connor. I'm Christopher Milborn. I'm back with you as it was last week. We'll tell you right now. We do sound a little bit different because last week I was coming down with quite the cold. But this week, luckily, it's all gone and I feel as fresh as a daisy. Round 2 about to kick off here for the hashtag NoFilterDXB round 2. Of course, this is all leading up to our grand finale, which will take place at the event. That's from the 24th to the 27th of October. No, that doesn't seem long enough. It's 29th of October, isn't it? November even, not October, because we're in November now. So the 24th to the 29th of November is where we'll have our grand finale. And actually, it's right in front of me because it says actually say the 24th to the 27th. So apologies for that. It is the 27th. I was right the first time. And of course, there we'll have the grand finale. And also, if you'd like to get up close with the racing simulators we have here at Pole Position, you can do so at hashtag NoFilterDXB, which of course will be at the Dubai Harbour. And it'll be the take on the traditional motor show, but in a new light. And of course, this is the region's first combined online and on-site esports racing event launched as part of hashtag NoFilterDXB. The tournament is launched as part of the city's spectacular new look motor show and lifestyle event being staged by Dubai World Trade Center from the 24th, of course, to the 27th of November. So that's just in 2 weeks' time, by the way. So what we're doing here is we're having 3 races online. So we've had round 1. We're having round 2 now today. And then next week on Wednesday, we'll have round 3. And then for our epic finale, we'll actually be doing it at the iconic Dubai Harbour, which is going to be a spectacular event. Of course, the weekend will be held 1 week before the UAE Golden Jubilee weekend. And hashtag NoFilterDXB is perfectly suited to including an international esports event in an action-packed program of experiences. Of course, we're the current iRacing series, or better yet, Race Room series, is organised by Pole Position Events Management, the region's first combined online and on-site esports racing event, which gives enthusiasts the chance to qualify through a series of compete-at-home time attacks and multiplayer battles, which are, of course, broadcasted live on YouTube. And I have a feeling as well they're also broadcast live on Facebook as well. Now, it's a little bit we're seeing a few cars in the pit lane, but we do actually have some of the drivers currently out on track. Let's go and take a look what Harry Hannum is doing, because of course Harry Hannum finished second last weekend. He was on the front row of the grid actually, because our winner Ibrahim Al-Mubarak actually was on the second row of the grid and got the jump on both Harry Hannum and Alex Connor going down towards the first corner. And unfortunately, Harry Hannum had to stick it in second because he had to defend like mad from a hard-charging Alex Connor, with the two of them finishing off the top step of the podium, but still in second and third position. Now, we do have a newcomer here today, Thierry Ranchot. He's new here this weekend in the Audi R8. Now, last week we had pretty much a Bentley heavy field, the Continental GT. Now it looks like this week we don't have a single Bentley. Now we did have one during practice. It seems to be the M6 GT3 is now the vehicle of choice here for round 2, because we have Harry Hannum is behind the wheel of one of the M6s. Vehicle Professor is Hazem Zaki is driving a BMW M6, as is Charlie Hayek and Ryan Trutch as well. But although Ryan Trutch, I don't think we can count him as a finisher, because, of course, Ryan Trutch, the organizer of the event here for our hashtag NoFilterDXB esports tournament for 2021. So we've got practice on track right now. What we'll do after this is we'll go into qualifying. So we'll have a 15-minute set to set the field up. And then we'll have a warm-up race where there is no points awarded. It just gives drivers more time to get adjusted to the track. Although they have been qualifying for some time earlier today. I think they've been doing 2 free practices. Indeed, they have. Because, of course, Fede did the driver's briefing in between that. Of course, Fede, our steward here, the ever so watchful eye here, making sure the event runs smoothly and no one's being cheeky out there. Because, of course, we're running this as real as we can, or as possible as we can, because, yes, it is a video game, but in the end of the day, it is also a real tournament that we're running here. And, of course, we have the watchful eye of the steward to ensure that everything runs smoothly, no one's doing anything they shouldn't be doing. Of course, the watchful eye is behind me at the moment as well, so it's keeping an eye on me too. So as we said, we had free practice already. We're going to have qualifying, then we have the warm-up race where no points are rewarded, and then we go into the race, 20-minute race, that's going to take place at about 8 p.m. local time, which is where points will be added to the tallies. Now, as we said, we don't have our race winner here this weekend, so we will have a new race leader in the championship standings. Alex Connor is also not here this weekend, who finished third, so he will also be tumbling down. But Harry Hannum looks to be the one who will gain the most here this weekend, because he scored second last time out. So in all fairness, he does have maximum points on offer for him right here, but it is all to play for. So another thing is we're running a different configuration of the Autodrome here. We're actually running the international circuit here today. Last week we ran the national circuit, which was shorter. So we're running now the international circuit, which is about 4.26 kilometers in length. So with our free practice sessions completed, it's time now for qualifying. What we'll have is a 15-minute session here for qualifying to set the field up for round 2 of our hashtag No Filter DXB tournament here, the esports tournament. And that is, so Robert Day, it's saying Harry Hannum, but that's definitely not Harry Hannum's car, because Harry Hannum has a BMW M6. He does not have the Audi R8, so not sure why it's showing the wrong driver. Let's go on board with, let's watch a flying lap of Harry Hannum, because in my mind, this is one to watch here, no doubt. But of course, we have a number of drivers in the field returning from last week. And as you said, we have at least one new driver. So there's drivers here who have experience, but none are more experienced than this man right here. Now, if I can find him, there he is. There's Alexandros Anivas, the sole Porsche 911 GT3 in the field, but he's probably the only sole competitor here in the time field who actually races as well on the Dubai Autodrome circuit, which he'll be doing this weekend, by the way, in the NRD. He'll be racing his trusty Cupra, the TCR spec one, around the track. And what a weekend we have in store this weekend. So it looks like Alexandros is going to jump from the digital space into real life on the weekend. And he's gone purple through sector 1 in the Porsche. He's also gone purple through sector 2 as well. Can he go purple through sector 3 and set the early pace here, which will no doubt be caught by Harry Hannum, who would have to do his best to try and take pole position away from Alexandros Anivas. But as you said, if there's anyone here this weekend who has track knowledge, it is certainly Alexandros Anivas. Estelle Rochet goes fastest of all here in the Audi R8. As through the final corner comes Anivas, and where does he line up on the track? He's third at the moment, just behind Hazem Zaki. Now, where is Harry Hannum? He's coming across the line now. He's gone purple through sector 1 and 2, and he goes quickest of all with 1:36.034. Does Harry Hannum. So straight up to pole position as the BMW M6 driver. So we've got BMW, Audi, BMW our top 3, and actually change that because we've got 2 BMWs now on the front row of the grid. We've got Hannum and Professor in 1, 2 at the moment. Then we have the first of the Audis. We have 2 of them, and the rest of the field of BMWs bar the Porsche, all by its own, so down in 5th position at the moment. So this is our current pole sitter, but let's have a look at where the vehicle Professor is at the moment. He's working his way through sector 1 here for the second time with a fast lap of 1:37.114, and he's gone quickest through sector 1. He's put purple sector time down there as he's onto the back straight. So you notice instead of going left up the chicane and towards the bowl complex, we go all the way down to the end of the back straight And then we'll head down towards the UP building as well. Into the left-hander goes Vehicle Professor. Can he go purple through Sector 2 now? As he winds his way up the hill. Into the small kink, and then it's the run down towards the mall complex before sweeping up to the left. He goes green through Sector 2. He's a 14th of a second slower in comparison to Harry Hannum. Now that completely nullifies his Sector 1 time unless he can find a huge chunk of speed going through Sector 3 here. As we're now into the penultimate corner. 6 and nice and tight there to the inside of the corner. Takes as much room as he needs, and he won't beat Harry Hannum. He'll have to settle for second position, but he's just been dethroned as Jamal Gondor has gone into second position now in his BMW M6, as he was just across the line there with a 136.319. So our top two in the 136s, and it's quite a ways back actually to Vehicle Professor, because he's got a 137 as his fastest. I know he's got 136 as well. He's got a 136, and he's certainly fast. The Saudi Arabian driver is quickest through Sector 1 always, because again, he's gone purple again here at the Dubai Autodrome. Once again, he's on the edge of the back straight. Soldiers on here looking for a front row position here to start round 2. Is the BMW M6 of Vehicle Professor here. Finished outside the top 3. Ooh, a bit squirrely there through the corner. And again, slow through Sector 2. So he's losing the most amount of time through Sector 2, because last time around he was 4/10 of a second slower. This time he's 5/10 of a second slower through that sector. So it's Sector 2 that he needs to nail down if he wants to be on the front row of the grid. But Alexander Sanivas just denied him third place because the Porsche has just gone third fastest as Vehicle Professor works his way through the final quarter. Let's see, can he improve through Sector 3? Can he gain some additional time here? And not quite, as he's across the line with a 137. Now let's have a look at what Alexander Sanivas did on the previous lap to go third fastest here. And a 136.433. He's only 8/10 of a second behind our race leader, who's done a 135.623. So he's extended that gap between himself and second position. Now, Jamal Gondor has also gone into the 135s as well, because he's done a 135.8. Yes, he would have, because he's 2/10 of a second slower in comparison to Harry Hannum, but no doubt he's still on the front row of the grid. As green through Sector 1 for Alexander Sanivas in his Porsche. But let's go back now with our race leader, qualifying leader. And he's gone purple through Sector 1 again. Now let's see what we can do here through Sector 2. And Harry Hannum, he's using a lot of the runoff area though. Going down the back straight away. No doubt, I think the stewards may look at that. He's allowed to have 2 lines off. Is he allowed to have 2 wheels off the line going down to that? Okay, so Failio has nodded, saying he is allowed to have 2 wheels off going down towards that very tight corner there at the end of the back straightaway. Now, can Harry Hannum go quickest through Sector 2? He does indeed. He goes quicker again by 0.03 of a second this time round. And this is another quick lap here. Now, 20, 30, 5,000 of a second faster, which will put a 135.5. What can he do, though, when he comes across the line? He will no doubt go quicker here if he's nice and tidy through here, which he is. And does he come across the line faster? Not quite. He was... Oh, no, he was faster across the line there. He was just grey through that sector. So he does go at 135.536 for our now pole sitter. And looks like he might go unchallenged in the second half of qualifying here. As here is the man that's sitting in second position at the moment, Jamal Gondor, who's going to have to try his best now to go quickest through sector 1, 2, and 3 to try and take that all-important pole position away from Harry Hannum as the M6 BMW works his way through. So now we actually don't have a BMW top 3 lockout, because of course we've got Anibas now there as well. We're still in the 136s, so we've only got 2 cars now in the 135s, Hannum and Gondor, with the BMW M6 here of Jamal being the slowest of the 2, but more importantly, he is on the front row of the grid, which is a prime of taking a opportunity here for him to go down towards turn 1. But what we saw last time round was actually the second row of the grid was where you really wanted to be, because of course that's where Al-Mubarak won from in his Bentley. As Jamal comes across the line, doesn't improve his lap time this time round, although we didn't actually see sector times on his lap that time, so he may have been on an out lap in comparison to Jamal Gondor. Let's go down to our newcomer here, who's currently sitting in 5th position in the black Audi, only one of 2 Audis actually here this weekend. Currently sitting, as we said, in 5th position overall is Theory. He works his way through the corners. And where is he now? Is he into the bowl complex? It looks like he is, yes, because he's running through sector 3. So he winds his way uphill through the bowl complex and then through the right hand of the penultimate corner here. Maybe one last run down towards, no, he's gone into the pit lane instead. Now his sector 2 time was quite slow there. It was 1 second off the pace, but he's decided to come into the pit lane here. So let's go back on track. So let's go and see what Alexandros Anibas is up to, because he's just coming through the final corner now. He does go quickest through sector 3, at least a personal best there, but unfortunately doesn't improve his lap time, with a 1:36.433 being the best of all so far. Now, is Harry Hannum still circulating? I have a feeling he is. So why don't we jump on board with him, because he's just gone through and across the line. Let's have a ride on board inside the cockpit of the current pole sitter with 4 minutes and 20 seconds to go. It looks like he will no doubt be rather happy and pleased with his qualifying pace, because he's been the man to beat so far. He's now onto the long back straight here. Now you notice with Harry Hannum, he really sticks it out to the left here, going down into the braking zone. And you see there, he uses as much of the runoff area as he can. Cuts in the inside there, nice and tidy from Harry Hannum. Into the left-hander we go. Now, I wonder why we're not seeing any sector times here. Is it because we joined on too late? Because again, we're up now into another right-hander here. And then it's a slow incline. And has he just gone into the pit lane? I believe he has. So let's go back now with Jamal Gondor there. So unfortunately, we couldn't complete a lap there with Harry Hannum. We almost got it. Just on the run down towards the bowl complex. Maybe he's going to try and do one more flying lap here. Well, Harry Hannum. So no improvement so far on this lap for Jamal. So when we go with another BMW M6, go a bit further down the field. Let's have a look at Charlie Hayek, who's gone a personal best through sector 1. Still 6/10 a second off of our race, of our qualifying leader here, but an improvement nonetheless for Hayek, who's now working his way through the final corner. Now, can he improve his position? He is currently sitting, where is he? He's 8th at the moment. Can he find a way past Ryan Trutch on this lap? Not quite. He's quite slow there through that one. He was about 0.8 of a second slower through that final sector than his best time. Let's go a bit further up the field, shall we? Let's go with Hazem Zaki here. Just under 2.5 minutes to go. Hazem Zaki also going quickest through sector 1, a personal best at least for himself. Slow through sector 2, though, which seems to be a problematic area for a lot of our drivers here this weekend. Not for Harry Hannum, that's for sure, but we saw Vehicle Professor have problems not adjusting himself in tune with sector 2. Zaki here about a second slower through that sector. And across the line with a 1:37.206. No improvement there. He was 0.3 of a second off of his fastest time. It looks like a lot of the drivers now looking to go back into the pit lane. So I wonder if it's all over for them. Now, Charlie Hayek is still out. Hazem Zaki has gone into the pit lane. Or has Hazem Zaki come back out? Jamal Gondor has come out of the pit lane. Harry Hannam is still in the pit lane. Hazem Zaki looks to be doing one more lap here. Can he improve and put himself onto the front row of the grid? Yeah, and hashtag no filter DXB round 2 of our esports tournament for 2021. Of course, this is the build up towards our second race of the day. Of course, we will have the warm up race. Before that will be a 15-minute affair, and then we'll have a 20-minute race where the points will be awarded for our drivers here. So quick and personal best through sector 1 for Hazem Zaki here, who's currently in 6th position at the moment. Can he go quickest through sector 2? Can he make his way into the top 5 in qualifying here? And no, he doesn't. Or was he just reset himself so he can get one more lap? And no, because that brings an end to qualifying here. Harry Hannam will sit in the all-important pole position, but alongside him will be Jamal Gondor from Lebanon. Alexander Sanibas in the Seoul 911 will be on the second row of the grid with Vehicle Professor in 4th. And then we have Thario Chit on the 3rd row of the grid with Hazem Zaki alongside for company. Ryan Trutch and Charlie Hayek will take from the 4th row of the grid. And the back is the second of the Audis for Rob Day. So that is your field for our second race, of the tournament, and the first race of the day as well, because of course this is how they line up. But this will be the warm-up race, no points awarded, so it should be just a quick friendly competition between the drivers because there's nothing really at stake. So we're heading straight now into the warm-up race, as we said. So 15. Oh, we have another driver. We have a 10th driver here in a BMW. Now, he was not in qualifying, so I'll be interested to see what the stewards have to say about that, because that won't really happen in a real life race, but in the digital realm, it could certainly happen. You could just have someone join in on the fun. But we definitely do have a 10th driver here who is in a BMW, and there he is. It's Graham Loper in his BMW M6. So let's see how this works out, because that'd be quite interesting. What we go with the man that's on the front row of the grid in 2nd position, Jamal Gondor, the Lebanese driver. His best starting position here in the tournament so far. So it goes for Harry Hannam as well, who's on pole position. I think he missed out on it in round 1. You could certainly say that our newcomer is he's on track as well. So we're up to 10 drivers now, which is fantastic news. So of course, the more the merrier here on the international circuit of the Dubai Autodrome. 4.2 kilometers in length, or closer to 4.3 kilometers in length. We've got a total of 2 long straights, which includes the front and the back straight, although the back straight isn't quite as long as it could be because, of course, for the international circuit, we're cutting off going towards turn 2. So instead of going straight and then left after turn 1, which would be the original turn 2 on the Grand Prix circuit configuration, we're actually going right here at the international circuit, and then we have a short straightaway, then it's a quick left and then right segment, and then we're onto the back straightaway, and then into the hairpin, a very tight corner at the end of the long straight as well. That's a very important braking zone because positions can be gained and lost going through there. And then, of course, we continue our way through all the way towards the bowl complex. Again, a long, sweeping left-hander that goes uphill as well, which is quite a tricky corner to get right, because if you don't, that's it, you're off onto the marbles and you're losing ground fast here at the Dubai Autodrome. As Larry said, it is our newcomer to the race. And presumably, seeing as he did not make the qualifying session, he will start at the back of the field. But again, steward Failio he's just walked back into the room. So maybe Failio can tell me what's going on here, because we now have a 10th driver. Well, Failio says he's allowed in. So as long as he's done some practice, it's good to go. So he will definitely start for the Mac. Thank you, Felio, for the confirmation there. So the good news is we have more drivers here, and that makes a total of 10. So Rob Day won't be so lonely on the 5th row of the grid, will he? Because he'll have a BMW M6 alongside for company here this weekend. So let's go with Charlie Hayek, who's put the fast lap of this portion of the round in our warm-up here, as he's shown as number 1. Although we're not seeing timings here, we're just seeing or giving the drivers a chance to warm up a little bit more from their free practice sessions here in round 2. So Charlie Hayek will start. I think he's not on the first row of the grid, that's for sure. He's on the second row of the grid, isn't he? Because we have Harry Hannam and Jamal Gandor on the front row of the grid. And then Alexander Sanibas in 3rd position with Charlie Hayek alongside for company. It was a vehicle professor. Well, we'll find out during the in the race how they line up, where they all are. But we're looking at Charlie Hayek right now. First driver to put a lap down in this warm-up. It looks like a lot of drivers leaving it to the last minute here actually to come out, because we almost elapsed 5 minutes of the session, and we've only had one driver complete a lap so far. We're actually not looking at Charlie, are we? We're looking at Jamal here. His driver. Of course, this is a Middle Eastern Championship, although we do have drivers hailing from around the world. We're strictly limited to drivers that are based in the GCC and the surrounding Middle East regions. So that's why we have drivers from Lebanon. We had Ibrahim Al-Mubarak from Bahrain. We have vehicle professor from Saudi Arabia. And then the rest of the drivers here, all their Emirati flags, presumably are right here in the United Arab Emirates. Of course, racing from the comfort of their homes. There are some racing rigs downstairs, because I know that's where Ryan is at the moment, here at Pole Position HQ. If you want to check them out, you can do so. Come check out the simulators that they have here at Pole Position. There's some pretty cool equipment down there. Must give it a go myself. We appear to have lost a few drivers. We are missing Harry Hannam. We are missing Charlie Hayek. Who else are we missing? We've lost 3 drivers. Who else have we lost here? Oh, I do hope they can get... Oh, we've lost Alexander Sanibas as well. So we've lost 1st and 3rd. And I have a feeling we may have lost 4th as well, looking at this. So we're going to be missing the 3 of the top 4. Now, hopefully they can get back in the session, and that's the joys of online racing. They can rejoin. And so we'll have to see how this pans out, because our screens here are just showing that 7 drivers are in this current session for the warm-up with 9 minutes remaining. We have our newcomer, Hopper, we have Jamal Gandor, we have Vehicle Professor, Terry Rochett, Hazem Zaki, Ryan Trutch, and Rob Day here in the warm-up. There is one of our newcomers, and here is the second of the newcomers as well. So new, in fact, that he missed qualifying entirely, but as we've got confirmation already that he will be allowed to participate, he'll just have to start from the back of the grid. And looking at what I have on the left-hand side of my screen right now, he may have less traffic to deal with than when we first thought, because we thought he'd maybe start 10th, and on the 5th row of the grid, he'll still start in... Well, he'll start on the 4th row of the grid now, looking at this, but let's keep your fingers crossed that we see Harry Hannam, Alexander Sanibas, and, of course, Charlie Hayek back into the session. Again, field predominantly here BMW M6s, only 2 Audis here, missing the AMG. We saw 2 of them last week, and we saw quite a few Bentley Continentals as well. The BMWs were in the minority last time out, but this week they are the majority. So 7.5 minutes to go here in round 2's warm-up race here. So again, this is a 15-minute session where no points are awarded. That's why we're not seeing everybody out on track. We're seeing a few drivers currently in the pit lane and have decided to stay in the pit lane because we haven't seen Vehicle Professor come out at all. the Saudi driver deciding to keep it in the pit lane, maybe saving strength for the 20-minute race that we'll have at 8 p.m. local time here in the United Arab Emirates. This, of course, is round 2 of the hashtag NoFilterDXB Esports Tournament for 2021. We'll have round 3 next week. Of course, last week we did have round 1, where we already crowned one winner. Unfortunately, that winner is not here this weekend. We have 2 new drivers, Thery and, of course, Glimmer as well, who, as we said before, is a latecomer, but is allowed to be here and racing for championship points. So we're still waiting on notes for our 3 drivers who have gone missing, including our pole sitter, Harry Hannam. Of course, Harry Hannam, a prominent feature in the EMSO Summer Series, which we ran earlier this year, and was also close to the all-important championship overall. I think finished second overall to Heiko Sigrid, the young Thai driver who beat the lot of them. But Harry Hannam, a formed racer, although we were racing on the PS4, racing Gran Turismo last time. This time we're using Race Room. So no doubt Harry Hannam has an entire rig set up at home, ready to take on the challenge of hashtag NoFilterDXB. And of course, you can catch all the action live on between the 24th and the 27th of November. And of course, we'll be at the Dubai Harbour during hashtag NoFilterDXB, which is a new look motor show and lifestyle event, which is being staged by the Dubai World Trade Center. So 2 years ago, we had the motor show there. Now we're having it here, with a rather interesting new feature this time round, which of course will be the esports side of things, where you'll get a chance to get up and close with pole position and of course the simulators that they have here. Because of course this is organised by Pole Position Events Management. And of course, they are the region's first combined online and on-site esports racing event, which gives enthusiasts the chance to qualify through a series, compete at home, time attacks, and multiplayer battles, which are broadcasted live on YouTube, which we're doing right now. And of course, the grand finale will be open to view for spectators in real life, because we'll have it at the Dubai Harbour. The tournament, which will reach its climax during the pulsating schedule of the on-site finals, which will take place over 2 days at hashtag NoFilterDXB. Of course, we're kind of building up towards the grand finale, because we'll have 3 races here online where the drivers will get to compete from home. But I have a feeling the grand finale, we may not have all the drivers competing at home. We may have them at hashtag NoFilterDXB at the Dubai Harbour. And of course, to end it all, and it is a grand finale after all, we are giving a grand prize or better yet, not a grand prize, a prize fund of 20,000 dirhams, which I presume will be going to our competitors during the event. So it looks like, to accommodate for our 3 drivers who unfortunately didn't make it, it's not they didn't make it, they actually unfortunately dropped out of the server. We're going to have to, I think, bring an early end possibly to the warm-up session here, bring our 3 drivers back in, because of course we're missing the pole sitter. We're also missing, I think, the entirety of row 2. So we're going to have to restart the server to bring the drivers back in. We'll put them into their qualifying order, and then we'll get the race underway. So we'll have to pause the on-track activity for some time. And we'll take a short break here. That's if I can't find either Ryan or someone else to talk to upstairs who could tell us a little bit more about the tournament, because it's great to get some insight from Pole Position about the tournament, what's coming up in the future, news about pole position, and of course hashtag NoFilterDXB as well. Of course, if you want to learn more about pole position, you can do so on social media. They are active on Instagram, Facebook, and I presume all other forms of social media out there. Of course, they're on YouTube as well, because that's where you're watching the race from right now. If you're on Facebook, there you go, you're watching it on Facebook too. It's 2 minutes left in the warm-up session, so I don't think we'll bring an early end to this. I think we'll carry it on and throughout the duration of it. And then as soon as the warm-up session finalizes, we will just briefly restart the servers. We said to bring in our 3 drivers who unfortunately have gone missing through the warm-up, which is Harry Hannam, Alexander Zanivas, and Chedi Hayek, who unfortunately we had one of those as our pole sitter, one of them is the driver that sits in third as well, because Harry Hannam took the pole with a 1:35.5, if not mistaken, in qualifying. And set that lap. So it looks like we will wrap up warm-up here. So apologies there for the delay, a slight hiccup when it comes to the server. Well, what can you do when you're racing online? At least it's not as bad as crashing a car because it's a lot easier to fix and a lot less time as well. So the good news is that we have 8 drivers. Again, we're missing our pole sitter. The ninth driver's gone missing again, as Harry Annam. We're also missing the newcomer as well, who was there. Now looking at when we're waiting for the back end. Oh, there we go. We've got one of them. We've got the newcomer back, Mr. Zopper, in his BMW M6. But looking through those who are being added, I've just realised as well, Hassan Zaki's done the EMSO Summer Series as well, looking at his player tag. So great to see more guys who did digital online racing earlier this year and joining the hashtag No Filter DXB Championship as well. So it looks like we'll have 5 minutes of qualifying before we go into the race. But there's still a big question mark on who will be in pole position because Harry Hannam still isn't in this session. Now, we hope that he will be. And there he is. He's just popped on the timing screen. So that's absolutely fantastic. We have all 10 drivers. At least 9 of them qualified for their positions. It's only Zopper who did not. And he is in the BMW M6. So he'll have to start from the back of the grid. But he'll have Rob Day for company alongside him on row number 5. So as we said, we will have a few minutes of practice. We are unfortunately a little bit behind schedule now, but we will start our second race of the tournament and of course our second race of the day as well, because of course we had the qualifying race, the warm-up race where things decided not to go the way we'd like it to, and it seems to be who's dropped out now. We lost another driver. We have as well. Who's gone missing this time? It's a guessing game at the moment. That's okay. We've still got 9 drivers here, so that's perfectly fine. We'll have to figure out who it is that's been dropped. It's definitely one of the BMWs because they are all here. The Porsche is also here. We're back. We've lost our pole sitter as well. So it looks like we've got some connectivity issues going on. So I think this might be up to the steward's decision if we are going back. No, it seems to be the screen is doing what it feels like at the moment because it keeps popping in and out because we're back up down to 9. It's only the pole sitter that we're missing. So it was the second Audi of Ferry that we were missing there, but he's back. Now I wonder who's going to be next. Let's touch wood and make sure that no one else leaves the session any longer as we just wait for Harry Hannam to re-enter the session. Our pole man, of course, with a blistering new last time. I think it was 6 seconds up from the closest driver, which of course was who was on the second, who was alongside him. It was, I know Alexander Stanimas was second. It was Jamal Gundor, wasn't it? Yes, it was the Lebanese driver who was alongside him, who will share the front with the grid. And there is Harry Hannam back again on our timing screen. So that's fantastic news that we have all of our 10 drivers. We should try and get the session started sooner rather than later, but we've got 2 minutes to go before the green flag waves here at the Dubai Autodrome. Of course, racing the international circuit here this weekend, 4.3 kilometers-ish in length, with just underneath it's 4.260 in total. Racing on the longer version compared to the national circuit that we had last time out, where we did that cut-off during at the back on the back straightaway, where we would cut the chicane up and into the bowl complex. Unfortunately, we don't have our, as I said before, we don't have our race winners from last week. We don't have Al Mubarak and we don't have Connor either, who were first and third, but we do have Harry Hannam, who finished in second and is now looking for the all-important win here at the Dubai Autodrome. Now Hopper here is doing personal bests everywhere, and he's just at a 1:35.578, so that would have put him provisionally second position, as that is pretty fast during this practice session here. Now, our timing screens are showing only 9 drivers. Let's have a see what goes on here. It looks like connection issues plaguing young Harry here. Round 2 of hashtag No Filter DXB. bit loose there through going through the braking zone. Almost lost the back end, did Hopper there. The fastest man in warm-up. And there's Harry Hannon back in the session. Let's hope he can stick with it. Let's hope his internet plays nice. And we'll keep our pole sitter. So practice comes to an end. Now we should go straight into the race. Still waiting for the session to wrap up. And there we go. The cars are starting to form up in their grid position, but I have now lost all control of what camera we can look at. That shouldn't be too much of an issue. We can make do without it because, of course, we have our auto director here. I'm, of course, Christopher Millwall, and I'll be with you for round 2. I'll also be here for round 3 as well, which will take place next Wednesday. As you can see, the cars dropping into their grid positions here. You can see on the right-hand side of your screen is Harry Hannon. On the left-hand side of your screen should be Jamal Gondor, the Lebanese driver. And it looks like Jamal has the preferred line going down towards turn 1 because it is a right-hander, sorry. It'll be left if we're looking at it from this point of view, but it is a right-hander. And Jamal, if he gets the getaway that he wants, he could be up on the inside and he could take that all-important lead away. So the lights are on. We've got 5 lights ablaze at the moment. We're waiting on the starters' orders. They are now on officially. Here we go. Green flag here for the second time in hashtag No Filter DXB. Round 2 is a go. And we've got lots of movement already mid-pack or as we make our way down towards turn 1. Can we get through cleanly on the first lap? Now, we had a great start in round 1. It looks like Jamal did not get the start that he wanted because Alexander Sanibas was already on the inside of him on the outside of him, through turn 1. As it looks to be clean as we run right now, let's go with the race leader and see where Harry Hannon is and see how far up the road he is already as well, because he looks like he's already put forward to the second between himself and Jamal Gondor. Oh, a little bit of contact there at the back between two of the M6s. That was Hayek and Hopper getting together, and it looks like Vehicle Professor is tumbling down the order, so there might have been contact that we didn't quite see because we saw from our feed, we were at the end of the back straightaway, and we saw in the background, we saw Vehicle Professor, who's just behind Rob Day at the moment. He was off. Harry Hannon is being shown as 10th. What's going on here? Where has Harry Hannon gone? Because it's showing him as Rob Day. Now, that's not correct. And it's showing that our race leader is Jamal Gondor as Rob Day hits the tyre barrier. Now, here is the battle for the lead, by the looks of it, as Hannon, I fear, may have disconnected from the session. So this puts Jamal Gondor out in front. Alexander Sanibas runs second. And Thierry Rochett, who is right behind Anibas at the moment, is in third position. So we have three different makes in the top 3. As down towards turn 1 we go. And yeah, I do believe, unfortunately, we may have lost Harry Hannon because he's not come through. And it's showing that he's dropping about a minute behind, which would make he would have disconnected somewhere on the back straightaway. So that is unfortunate for Hannon. So he won't get the jump of the championship. Although someone that will do here is Jamal Gondor, because he's looking for a very strong finish here, and he's looking for a win as well in round 2, as he hasn't got too much to worry about, because you can see in the background there, you can see Alexander Sanibas under pressure from Thierry Rochett. Let's actually go to those two now, and why don't we ride on the back of Alexander Sanibas and watch the Audi R8 try and close that gap as we work our way through Sector 2. So we're on the back bumper here at the 911, and there you see he's losing time, but now in the braking zone, the Audi really catches up here. Now we're on the run down towards the Bowl complex, and out the braking zone, that Porsche really does accelerate its way out. But then it comes to the braking zone, and the R8 reels in the Porsche as we're working our way through the Bowl complex now. Oh, it's a wide line there from the 911 of Alexandros Sanibas. Compared to a much tighter line in comparison to the Audi R8 of Ferry, and Hazem Zaki is on a move. He is up into fourth position now, as is Hopper as well. Now, we saw actually in the warm-up that Hopper was probably one of the fastest drivers we could have had during qualifying, because look, he's all at the back of Zaki at the moment. As Zaki tries to play defensive, goes as far across the pit wall as he dares to stop the M6 behind him trying to get through. And let's go with that battle at the moment. Let's go with Hopper as he works his way down towards turn one. Is he going to try on the inside? Yes, he is. He brakes as late as he dares, but has to stick it on the brakes as well, because he doesn't want to get into his rival there, Hazem Zaki, as there is Hazem just in front. And let's see what he can do now on the back straight, because down we go here for the third time onto the back straight. There is Zaki on the right-hand side. A very interesting line along the back straightaway, then cuts all the way to the left. Now, we mentioned this in the qualifying as well. A lot of drivers putting two wheels off, going into the runoff area down towards, the braking area, actually, of the hairpin after the long back straight. It looks like a lot of drivers choose to put two tyres off. Now, I've been told that it is perfectly legal to do so, as it looks like you're not seeing the move being made here. We might have to jump back on board with them when they go down towards turn one to see if Hopper makes his way through the inside, because again, a much tighter line in comparison to Zaki. They're going through the bowl complex there, and it looks like we've got a three-way battle here now brewing for third position, because here comes Ryan Trutch as well. He's just below us at the moment in his BMW M6, raced the AMG GT last week, this time swapping manufacturers to the Mercedes, and it looks like he doesn't want to get involved too much in this battle. Well, he says that, and then look what he's doing now, because he's all over the back of Hopper at the moment. Hopper's going to go around the outside. Here we are, side by side through the corner. Now, that's not a fantastic angle, is it? No, it's not. Let's go back with the TV. As you saw on the inside there, he may have had the line, but he had to go the long way round, which gave Hazem Zaki the switchback, and he retook fourth position going through turn one. As we're on now to the back straightaway, we're still watching this battle here as the gap up front continues to extend between Jamal and Alexandros. Alexandros looking for a podium finish here in round two. Thought she was off the podium in our first round, looking for his first podium finishing position here in hashtag No Filter DXB Esports Tournament. As again, it looks like Hopper here always looking around the outside here, looking for the long way round to get through Hazem Zaki, but that's not going to work, because of course every time he tries to do that, Zaki will no doubt get the switchback pretty much immediately, and he will take the inside line straight back as he sees battle along the way through the bowl complex. Now, it looked like actually that kind of went the opposite way round. It looked like Zaki was on the wider line compared to the man that's in fifth position at the moment. But now we go into the final corner actually now, as Ryan Trutch trailing this battle here. I think he's trying not to interfere with these two here. I don't know actually if Ryan's being awarded points here. And you can see he certainly dropped back from this battle here for fourth position. As again, looking on the inside, but thinks better of it, because he has to brake his late. He said, a little bit squirrely there through into turn one, through the braking zone. And again, trying around the outside. That's definitely not where you want to be. That's the longer route. Let's go now with the race leader, who's leading by 2.3 seconds. And then you can see the Porsche is still in close proximity, albeit about a quarter behind him. As we're on the back straight now, but as we're going into the left-hander, you'll see just the bottom of your screen, you just saw the Porsche poking out, and of course there is about a corner now separating the two of them. Alexandros Animas as well can breathe a little easier as well, and now can try and attack, or at least push a little harder, because he's now 1.3 seconds ahead of Ferry. Yes, indeed he is at the moment. Oh, and it looks like the positions are changing for fourth and fifth constantly, as you've just seen on the left-hand side of our screen there, the two squabbling backwards and forwards, and the two changing positions constantly going through. Now, I presume that will be actually at the back of the long straight, and it's just changed again for fourth position. It's also having live timing here in Race Room. as Alexander Stanimas working his way through the final corner. But let's go down to Vehicle Professor, because he's not had the best start here, has he? He qualified inside the top 5. We saw on the entrance to the back straight, unfortunately, he got tangled up and unfortunately he's dropped all the way back now. He's behind Charlie Hayek, who he's looking to find a way past on this lap. Looking into the braking zone here, looks like turn 1 is where the action's happening. Also going on to the long back straight as well is where a lot of the action's happening going into the corner. So you see there quite early on the brakes was Vehicle Professor looking for the inside line to take it away from Charlie Hayek. But Hayek there late on the brakes manages to stay ahead by 2 car lengths as we work our way now onto the back straight. Through turn 4 we go. Let's go back now with Harzazaki, because it looks like he's lost 4th position, but for how much longer has he lost it? Because these two are still battling here for 4th position. Battle still rages on. Looks like losing a little bit of ground here. And of course, with these two squabbling, it's allowed the 2 in front, actually the 3 in front, because Jamal Gandor, Alexander Sanivas and Terry Richard are your top 3, are out in front. The gap to the race leader in 2nd position is 3.1 seconds now. Then it's 1.6 seconds back from Anibas to Rochett, and then it is how much back to 4th, where these two are battling. It's 2.8 seconds, but that gap is building between 4th and 5th position as Lamaya is up and away by the looks of it, because he looks like he's managing now to drop the Hazem Zaki driven BMW M6. Now, I do wonder what would have happened if we saw him in qualifying, because he was very fast through the warm-up, but he's just dipped into the 135s now here as well. Needed a 135.6 during the warm-up, which would put him at least in 3rd position overall for qualifying. And now he's running 135s in the race, and he's got clean air in front of him until he catches the back of Ferry. And then the battle will be on for 3rd. But it would have been very interesting if we did see Hopper in the qualifying session, and where he would have been and where he would be right now, because I can guarantee you he's probably challenging for the race lead with Jamar Gondor, who is leading, as we said, by 3.7 seconds, and that gap just continues to grow here at the Autodrome. Of course, using the international circuit configuration, 4.3 kilometers in length here for round 2 of hashtag NoFilterDXB, the esports tournament for 2021. And it looks like we'll have a complete new podium as well for round 2, because unfortunately Ibrahim Al-Mubarak is not here, Alex Connor is not here either, our 1st and 3rd place finishers, and Harry Hanna unfortunately looks like he's had disconnection issues right at the beginning, either disconnection or technical issues. We'll have to see if we can find out what exactly happened. Now, this is not uncommon, of course, in esports where we have these kind of difficulties. But just like real racing, we have to continue on, because, of course, we are sticking to a schedule as well. With 8.5 minutes to go, we've just now, we're now on lap number 8, aren't we? Yes, we have. Yes, we are, excuse me. As, what do I say, the BMW here, M6 of Hopper, is really reeling in 3rd position, because he's just at a 137.35.7. Now, he was, I think it was 1.6 seconds, almost a lap ago, and he's now just a 1/10 of a second from a podium finishing position here. And he's looking on the inside here, going to the braking zone, down towards the end of the back straightaway, and he's got the move stuck, has he? Yes, he has. So Ferry goes 4th, with Hopper now into 3rd position. And what's his next target? Well, I presume it will be Alexandros Animas, won't it? But here comes the Audi, looking for a way on the outside. That's not where you want to be, because you're going to start picking up marbles if you drift off too wide. But it looks like Hopper is off, as he's got a gap of, well, it's 0.3 of a second, but that's certainly growing as we continue on. But 3.3 seconds is going to be quite difficult. Actually, he's closing in even faster than that, because now it's showing it was as low as 2.3 seconds, at least going into the braking zone. Now on the straights, it's 2.5 to 2.6 seconds, and the gap is 1/6 of a second back to the Audi. So the BMW here of Hopper is on a mission. because he wants to be on the podium. He is already, but he wants to be further up the podium. Does he have enough time to catch Jamal, though, is the real question. So he's 7.5 seconds adrift at the moment. He was catching those in front of him by about 1.6 seconds a lap, which is mighty impressive. It is possible, although we say it's possible, getting to second place is one thing, getting past is another, then getting to first place is another problem, and then getting past them is another challenge that Hopper will have to try and get past. So let's go back now with the race leader, because it's been smooth sailing so far for Jamal here. He hasn't been challenged. He looked for the race lead early on, diving to the inside through turn one, but thought better of it, better not take out everybody on the first corner of the first lap, because it's not something you want to do, because you'd be hated in the paddock area if you did that. But he did get the early jump due to Harry Hannum unfortunately having technical difficulties, which is played into the hands of Jamal Gandor, which is great for him because he's led every lap so far and is looking for a win here with 5.5 minutes to go, because he's coming through the final corner now. And I also presume just up the road there, indeed it is, there's the Audi R8 of Rob Day. So backmarker traffic will come into play, but there are no battles at the moment, at least in the top three, where Rob Day will be a nuisance. And we did see this going in race one, where traffic actually came into play, at least for second position, because we had a great battle going all the way to the end of the race. And then backmarker traffic started becoming, I say an issue, it was a very minor issue for the drivers here. As a quick flash of the lights from the BMW from Jamal to tell Rob, I'm coming, let me through. As soon as I get anywhere close to you, and of course you'll see Rob Day actually move out of the way when he can. But of course, Rob is also fighting to stay on the lead lap, runs a bit wide there going through the left-hander there. So he's gotten out of the way of Jamal, lets him loose. And now it will be Alexandros Anivas and this man right here to come up on the back marker traffic next. And it'll be quite interesting to see what happens, because, as we said, Hopper here is really reeling in the competition here. He 135 again, his personal best, 135.7, but he's catching at quite a rate here, because now he's reeled in Alexandros Anivas. He's about, it looks like 2 car lengths. You can put 2 M6s in between the Porsche and the BMW. Now, this is where the back marker is going to play a key role here. Now, of course, Rob's going to want to move out of the way of Alexandros as soon as he can, as he does already, because you see he's gone right there across to the pit wall. So good job there from Rob Day to get out of the way, because he's presumably he's seen this back going on. And here comes Hopper. Is he going to look on the inside, go down towards turn one? Yes, he does. Is he close enough to make a move? Thinks better of it as Anivas goes defensive and cuts off the M6. So he can't do it through turn one. He's going to have to try somewhere else now, isn't he? He's going to have to try towards turn 5. And that will be at the end of the back straight. Try and look on the inside. Gets a nice run there through turn 4. And he's picking up the toes of the BMW M6 on the Porsche. Can he claim another podium position here? Looking on the inside. Thinks better of it because he's not close enough to make a move there. Looks like he may have been about a car and a half length behind. So good job there from Hopper. So he may have to settle for another lap behind Alexandros Anivas, but a great defensive drive nonetheless from the Greek driver. With just over 2.5 minutes to go, can Anivas keep Hopper at bay as we continue on here? Lap number 11 completed. It'll be lap number 12 soon enough for our race leader, who again, I don't think he'll come under pressure from Hopper. There won't be enough time, as again, a tight line there from the M6 compared to the Porsche, a little bit wide from Anivas, but keeps it in check and keeps it defensive as well. It has the final corner though. Has the M6 got through? No, it hasn't. Again, looks to be trying around the outside. There you see in front of the picture, you see our race leader. That's how far up the road he is, 6 seconds. Can Hopper again look on the inside? No, he doesn't. He's not close enough this time to make a move. Alexandros again goes defensive. But going around the outside, a much better run in comparison, but it is the long way round. It'll take a longer time to get round. So through to turn 3 we go. Oh, nice run there from Hopper. But Alexandros shuts the door and pretty much immediately. A great jump actually there for Animas going through turn 4. It looked like Hopper was on the brakes maybe too early there because he's lost significant time. Now, the gap on the previous lap there between the two of them, 1.5 car lengths. Now it's gone up to at least 3 car lengths as we continue on here on lap number 12. Now let's briefly leave that battle there. We'll keep a close eye on it though on our timing screens because it's fluctuating between about 5 seconds to about a second, separating the two of them. As here is the race leader, Jamar Gandor, 1:36.243. That's not the fastest of the race because Hopper has definitely done a faster lap than that, but the almighty defensive manoeuvres from Alexandros Animas has kept him in 3rd position for the time being. As I have a feeling Jamar Gandor will start the last lap now because we'll have about 30 odd seconds on the clock before he starts the next lap. There we go, lap number 13 in the books. Well, about to start, better yet, because it's lap 12 that's in the books. Lap 13 now underway. And you can see in the background there is the battle still raging on between Alexandros Animas and Nilmai. Now let's try ride on board. We don't want the front camera. We want to go inside the cockpit of the Porsche here. And there you can, sorry, this is the BMW M6, not the Porsche of Animas. And you can see just in front of you, looking really close up in the braking areas here through sector 1, but then it's through turn 4. Now you see he loses a lot of time. Alex there a little bit early, looks to be on the gas. It's a little bit wide through turn 4, and then heavy into the braking zone we go, but again, Animas really blocks that inside line off there to take it away from Hopper, and it doesn't look like Hopper can find a way through, and he's only got a few opportunities if he wants to get past now, because he's got here in the hairpin. That's about where he could try and take it. They go side by side now, don't they? Yes, they do, but Alexandros Animas gets the better run going through the hairpin and down towards the bowl complex. I think that was Hopper's last chance, unless he can find a way through the bowl complex. No, he's going to have to go around the outside and try and get the switchback through the inside. Can he do it? No, he can't. But let's go with Jamar Gandor because the checker flag should be at the ready for him as he comes through the final corner, and it looks like Jamar Gandor will be the winner of round 2 of hashtag No Filter DXP Sports Tournament 2021, and it looks like Alexandros Animas will beat Hopper to the line to take 2nd position overall in the Porsche, and then it's another BMW to round the top 3 for Hopper there, but a great drive nonetheless there from our man that sits in 3rd position. He started from the back of the field. He started in 10th, dead last. He wasn't in qualifying. He barely did any practice whatsoever. What could have been here for this man here if he was in the qualifying session? I guarantee you he would have been on the front row of the grid, and I guarantee he'd have been on a spectacular show up front there, and he certainly would have took the fight straight to Jamar Gandor. It would have been actually what really would have made this race if we had Hopper here and we had Harry Hannum, because that would have been an epic race for the top step of the podium. But there is confirmation of the results. Jamar Gandor is your race victor by 6 seconds at the line of Alexandros Animas, and Hopper there in 3rd with the fastest lap of the race as well with 1:35.7. Terry Ochon finishes 4th, Hazem Zaki in 5th, Ryan Trutch in 6th, Vehicle Professor in 7th, Charlie Hayek is 8th, Robert Day in 9th. As you said, unfortunately, Harry Hannum, DNFs due to either disconnection or a technical issue, which is heartbreaking. That rounds out round 2 of hashtag No Filter DXP. We'll be back next week on Wednesday for round 3. And then, of course, at the end of the month, we'll have our grand finale at the Dubai Harbour. I've been Christopher Milbourne, and I think we will, if we have the provisional standings, that would be fantastic to see where everyone is, because without our top 3 from last week, the championship is completely mixed now, isn't it? Because we've got guys that finished outside the top 5 that have now scored points in 2 rounds. They've gotten wins. For example, Jamal has got the win. We've also got some new players in the game that will now be rocketing their way up the order. Don't think they'll be in the top 3, but they will no doubt be somewhere towards the top. And I think that wraps up round 2 here in pole position. Yes, I think it does. So a big thank you to our drivers who participated here. A big thank you to, of course, our stewards. Pole position, of course, #NoFilterDXB, where our grand finale will take place. Thank you to our sponsors as well, BenQ, SimCube, and Cube Controls. Of course, there is crowdfunding as well with P1 Static. So if you want to contribute to pole position and P1, you can do via the crowdfunding there.